when this dress is shirred. I'm gonna stick with shirred. Shirred? Hello. I am officially in the depths of summer where it is supposed to be 95 degrees this weekend, and all I have been wearing have been long flowy dresses or clothing that does not touch my body. This summer, I really loved the ease of just throwing one piece of clothing over my body and looking like I have it all together because I have a dress on, even though it took me like 3 seconds to put together my outfit this morning. So I've been really trolling online to try to find some dress inspiration that's different than what I've done before. As I was going through my saved things, I found a couple video tutorials that I really wanted to try out, especially this one by Rosary Apparel, where she really explained how to do a shirred top or a shirred dress. It's very basic. I will link it down below, but I'm really excited because I feel like I've seen Shirring everywhere. I went to the mall a few days ago and I noticed that in like Anthropologie and Madewell, all of these really popular stores, all of the dresses had this elastic thread throughout. Even the dress that I'm wearing right now, which I think is an Old Navy dress that I thrifted, this has a sheared panel that goes all around the edge here. And it's super nice. I like how it fits and I like how adjustable it makes clothing. My goal is to make a dress using these techniques. I have never done this before, so this will be new to me. So I need to go through, find my materials, and find out where I can buy elastic thread now that Joann's is gone. I have quite a few options. As I was going through, I was really looking for fabrics that I had that were over 3 yards. I usually can get a pretty good sized dress for 3 yards, and this one is simple enough that I think that it'll go ahead without a hitch if I have 3 yards. More would be better though. These are most of the fabrics that I have in my collection that are over 3 yards that I thought possibly could make a cute dress. But now that I'm looking at some of them, they're not all my favorite. I'm leaning more towards this purple one. I think it's really pretty, and I don't have anything in my closet that's similar to this. I think I'm gonna go ahead and use this for my fabric. I got this at Joann's a while ago. This is one of the Keepsake Calico, I think, brands. And this is a great fabric. It's this really pretty like lilac lavender color. The good news too is that this one is actually pre-washed, so I don't have to do anything. I can just iron it and jump right into the cutting process. I would definitely go to the Rosary Apparel tutorial video if you are interested in making this dress. She does a fantastic job with laying out all of the measurements and instructions, and so that link will be in the description. This pattern though is mostly made up of rectangles where you measure your body, your underarm, and those are the measurements that you're going to be using for this pattern. I was able to just make a bunch of rectangles and cut out a pattern piece for my pocket. I also made some modifications where I added some pieces. So this pattern consists of a body, 2 arms. I am adding pockets, and then I'm also adding some strips of bias tape for a bow. I have all of my pieces cut out now, which I had more than enough fabric with the 4 yards, and I definitely cut this big body piece way too long. I know I want it to be kind of a midi or maxi dress, but I held it up to my body and it is firmly just like too long. It brushes the floor. So I'll definitely have like some taken off at the end, which is fine. Rather have it be too long than too short. But it is time to like actually start sewing, and I'm very excited about that. The very first thing I'm going to be doing is doing a very small hem on the top of my long body pieces. The reason I'm doing this is because when this dress has elastic in it, it's going to be a lot harder to hem it. So I'm gonna hem it first. And part of it will get cut off, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do a very small 1/2 inch hem at the very top. And then I can go ahead and start practicing with the elastic. Now it's time for me to start working with this elastic thread, which I am pretty intimidated by. I have watched 2 YouTube videos down below. I'm going to link them because they were very helpful. And because I watched 2 YouTube videos, obviously that means, say it with me, I am now an expert. from my extensive research, it seems like I need to wind my bobbin with the elastic thread, leave my top thread as a regular polyester or cotton thread, and then with the elastic thread in my bobbin, I'm going to increase my stitch length and sew like normal. I am worried about starting this on my dress right away, so I have some scrap fabric here that I'm gonna test it on, and if everything goes well, then I'm gonna wind a lot of bobbins and then go ahead and get started. See, to me that doesn't look nice at all because it looks very messy and hand wound. I have one of these stands that I use for combs, and I wonder if I could put my elastic on there so I can use my regular bobbin winder. That might be an experiment for another day, but fingers crossed this does not mess up my machine. That is the worry. Okay, problem number one, it doesn't want to come out. Okay, I'm gonna stitch length 4. We're gonna see how it goes. Oh, that turned out perfect. That turned out really nice. The top, I have my normal thread that I have up here. I'm gonna keep it as white, that way it matches my fabric. But I'm gonna do a few more rows on this to practice, and I'm very excited. This turned out way better than I thought, and that was way easier to do. I didn't have to adjust my tension or anything. I went into some stores the other day, and one thing I noticed is that not every store has the same gather pattern on it. So what I think I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna do 2 stitches very close together and then leave like a bigger gap and then the next 2 lines of stitches. I really liked that pattern on different dresses rather than uniform lines all the way down. Everything I've done so far, I've done off of the Rosary Apparel tutorial. That is a very helpful tutorial for this. I will link it down below. It's really good at explaining measurements and all of those kind of things. That's what I use to really help learn how to do like this elastic technique. But now that I'm getting into more of the like details and fun bits, this is more things that I'm making up on my own. For example, I want to have a tie in the front. I'm currently ironing out my bias tape because I need to make a channel that goes across the front, but the channel has to be split in the middle to allow 2 different ties to come through. So I have currently an inch strip that I'm ironing down to be a 1/4 inch. This will be my like actual tie. This is an 1.5 inches, and I need to iron this down to be a big enough channel where my other tie can slide through, but it needs to be tight enough that it won't be like too loose or it won't look weird on the top. I'm really impressed with how this tie's turned out. I don't have it tied in a pretty bow right now, but I feel like the channeling really just looks nice. When I did the 2 channels, I left about 1 inch in between, and that makes it so there's still some stretch in there. So the tie actually will bring things together, and I can let it out if I need to. Moving on from the base of the dress, it's time for me to work on the sleeves. And I've actually already found a mistake that I made while cutting out my pattern. Luckily, I've already found out a way to fix it. Big puffy sleeves are just so part of my vision for this that I really wanted it to have it. So as I was following the Rosary Apparel tutorial, she said, that you needed to cut out rectangles the size of around your arm times 2. The thing is, I heard that and immediately swiped the times 2. So I just cut out some rectangles the size of my arm, which leaves no room for elastic or any sort of poof to happen. I was saving this to potentially make a ruffle at the bottom of the dress, but I'd rather fix my sleeve mistake than add on a ruffle at the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut out this new pattern piece and stitch up my mistake. And then I can go ahead and actually get started on the gathering and the elastic that's needed for the strap and then around the edge of the cuff. It's a new day. I have this dress on again because I'm worried about it. And I'm worried that it's kind of giving nightgown. I feel like because it has a very cream base for this, and then it has the purple detailing, the cream to my brain is really just giving nightgown. It's giving something that I'm gonna wear to bed. So I already went ahead and I did some finagling with the sleeve, and I'm interested to see what it looks like then. It is fully pinned together. There are no seams, not even the side seam, but I have the elastic through the channel. This is kind of the placement for the sleeve. Now that I have it here, I'm really wanting to move it over. And then I'm going to be doing some elastic shearing on the bottom of this. So this will be gathered as well, kind of giving this really nice puffed sleeve, hopefully. I'm hoping that once we have that, it'll kind of move away from pajamas and more towards a wonderful, flowy, whimsical dress. That's the goal, at least. Okay, so I've done only 2 lines of the elastic shirring on the sleeve, and we're gonna scrap this. I'm gonna go through and pull it out because it's a little big. It's a little big. So instead of doing this, I'm going to pick it out and then add a channel, and then that way I can go in and just use regular 1/4" elastic, because this isn't working. It's still not working like it's supposed to. So I'm gonna scrap that idea. We're gonna go with the 1/4" elastic. It's comical at this point. I'm no longer worried about this looking like a nightgown. It's currently pinned in place. I haven't cut anything yet because I'm terrified. So everything is just pinned right now. I'm thinking I'm gonna go in and hand baste this V, and then I can cut it and use my machine in order to stitch it down and finalize it. But I'm really, really terrified about cutting into the elastic and having it lose all of its tension. So I think hand basting it in place is going to be my best bet in order for everything to be exactly where it needs to be. But I am thrilled with this outcome so far. I can't wait to see it on the other side. I love the tiny little ruffle details that I added at the bottom. I wanted to add an additional ruffle up here, but I didn't have enough fabric. In fact, in order to do the channel for the elastic on the bottom here, I actually had to cut 1 inch off the hem of this dress because I'm all out of scrap fabric at this point, which now that it's a shorter length, I do actually like this dress a little more. So it was a happy accident. I'm gonna go ahead and work on this. I'm gonna sew it down. And once I'm done sewing though, it's done. In the means of time, I'm not gonna film any of it, but you are about to see the results. Once again, I think it's safe to say that this dress was a success. It was pretty trust the process in the middle there, not gonna lie. I definitely had moments where I was really worried this was gonna turn out to be almost like a nightgown, but adding the sleeves really helped the vision. I love a big puffy sleeve, and these are absolutely perfect. They're big puffy Cinderella sleeves in my head, and I think that with like the bows and the little ruffle detailing that I add to it just really made it all come together. My goal for this dress was to find something that made me feel like I wanted to run through a meadow, and I definitely think this holds up to the challenge. When I was filming my reaction, I originally went to like an actual meadow, but it's been so hot outside recently that it's all just straw and had been mowed down, so it wasn't exactly the most picturesque place for me to choose. So I ended up going along a path into a little bit more of a wooded area, which kind of gives meadow vibes, but also really kind of helped solidify my view of just wanting to be in a storybook. I love this dress. I can definitely see myself wearing this again. I purposefully made this dress so it had a long enough hem and then enough like sleeve coverage and everything that I could wear this to my job at an elementary school if I so chose. I just think this dress overall is so incredibly sweet and cute, and I loved learning the technique of how to do this shirring. Shirring? I did this whole thing and I still don't know how to say it. This is a really cool technique that I will be doing in other projects. I feel like it just turned like quilting cotton into something that's a little bit more like an apparel fabric just by using some of this elastic thread. So I for sure will be using this on future projects, especially when I want to add some stretch. Thank you so much for watching though. I love making long-form content videos. I put out videos every other Tuesday. I have some really exciting things coming up. Right now I'm filming a lot of things for late summer transitioning into fall, which fall is absolutely my season. I love plaid, I love pumpkins, I love all things that come with autumn. So transitioning into that area is 100% my thing. So I'm working on some really cool projects and I can't wait to share them with you. Until then, thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye. I don't know how much you can hear the AC. There. Now I'll be sweaty, but you can at least hear me. But I'm tired and I really want to go to bed because it's 3 a.m. Time really just doesn't exist when I'm sewing.